Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 35, A Glimmer. On the cover, Poison Oak stands center page. Behind him, we see the entrance to a dense grove of trees. Spilling out from the grove, we see a warm, welcoming light. The team stands before him, obviously on guard. Floating above Poison Oak, we see the dung beetle, Hope. We turn the page and our story begins. So our next panel, we see the three of you in Lighthammer's apartment. I think it's fairly late. I think your heroine is done for the day. What is everyone doing just kind of in the relaxing chill out?
I'm pulling out the pull-out couch because though Ryder and I have now been dating for like 6 months, if he sleeps over, he sleeps on the pull-out couch, not in my bed, because I can't share a bed with anyone. No, it's not because I snore. Absolutely not because I snore. That is slander, and I will sue you for that. Yeah, because I snore.
That's hilarious.
So I'll point out to Ryder that on Lighthammer's fridge, there's what looks like a drawing of Lighthammer, and I don't think you ever met Allie.
Nope.
Allie Vera hugging. There's a big heart drawn around it, and it says "Best Friends Forever," but "best" has been crossed out, and the word "kinda" is written in.
I dig it.
Actually, can we get a panel of you just kind of looking at that? I'd love to see Ryder's reaction to what the...
Yeah, I think that would be the reaction. I think of course he's out of costume now. And he's wearing just a pair of, I guess, he's in a pair of sweats, just sweatshirt, sweatpants. And he's just looking and kind of scratching his head, or scratching the back of his head at the picture. He's like, what when did, hey, oh my God, what is Light's name outside of Light?
Still have not told you that.
How long have they been dating and he still hadn't said anything like that?
About 6 months.
Great. I think Felix will go, Light, what's this? Fan art?
Oh, no, that's just Allie.
Who?
Allie, AV, she's... remember how I had that team up like last week? Right, but like the day that I met up with OG Lighthammer? It was the girl I teamed up with for that.
Oh, all right. Okay, cool. So,
she's not a great artist, but, you know, it's cute.
I guess. It's just kind of weird. And I think he'd stand up and turn around and goes, okay, so, we gonna watch a movie or something, or we just all heading to bed?
Where do we see Brian in this scene?
He is typing away at a laptop.
Cool. So I think we get that panel with Ryder asking about the movie. And then our next panel, we see those same two figures in that same, like, shadowy grove. And the larger figure looks at the smaller figure and says, I think it's time. Help me open the portal. And I think we see them both, like, start to make some hand motions, and we see some plants starting to grow. And we're going to cut back into Lighthammer's apartment. And Lighthammer, what plant do you have in your apartment?
There's like a topiary bush made to look like me.
Oh, fucking course there is.
As I said, I have like one thing in my entire apartment that is not Lighthammer themed. Like, my cups are engraved Lighthammer cups.
Every time there's a Lighthammer episode, I consider just deleting the whole feed and pretending like Moon Harbor never happened.
You know you love Lighthammer.
That's the highest compliment
but
I
love
can
him.
Right now. Okay, so I think we get the panels of the three of you watching a movie. I assume Brian's paying more attention to the laptop than the movie.
Yep.
And we see the topiary in the corner of the room just start to grow more and more vines. And these two, like, odd-looking vines stretch down and, like, grow into a large arc. I think this is probably about the time you all notice this.
Hey, Light, quick question. Do your plants always grow like that?
I look over and then just sigh really deeply. And I'm like, I'll go get my hammer and, like, get out of the pull-out couch and just, like, I'm not even running. I'm just walking to my room. I'm so tired.
And then I think when you come back in the room, there's now this, like, light blue shimmering portal filling the inside space of the vine. And I think we get a couple panels of... Actually, let's get, like, the three of you. How are you standing as we wait on this thing?
I think Ryder would jump over the back of the couch. And wait, this couch isn't against the wall, is it?
I think it's against, like, a half wall, but you could, like, easily jump over it. It's, like, a wall that, like, stops at, like, lower torso height, so easy to jump over.
Very important question. Are you jumping over the Lighthammer face part of the couch or the feet part of the couch?
It'll be over the
The couch isn't Lighthammer themed. The blankets on the couch are Lighthammer
no
themed.
lies. The couch is Lighthammer themed.
It's Lighthammer shaped.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow, I hate that.
As promised, I am dramatically removing my glasses.
Fantastic.
I think as the rider lands on the other side, I think you'd see like a panel of the couch. Felix jumping over the wall and landing behind the wall, and then he'd stand up in full costume. I don't even think you'd hear the word. You might see the word Henshin as he's popping over the couch, and then he stands up in costume.
Fantastic. And we get Lighthammer walking back in with his hammer.
Yeah, and I'm still not in costume. Like, we've seen a lot of Lighthammer out of costume, and I think it was in essentially booty shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm still in that. And I have the hammer part of the hammer on the ground, and I'm like leaning on it, so like one hip cocked to the side, leaning on the handle, just waiting for this thing to happen.
Cool.
I need more of this in my life.
And I think we get some cut back and forth panels between like the team and then the portal, then the team, and then the portal, and then the team, and then the portal. And there's just like the slightest bit of like a ripple in the middle of the portal, and a dung beetle flies out and kind of flutters around the room for a bit and then lands on Ryder's hand.
I think the panel of Ryder when that lands, it would literally be like the same kind of speech bubble from earlier, but without the dramatic tension. It's just ... He's looking at his hand like, what?
Brian, who is in the process of putting his cape on, just drops to the floor.
And then the beetle flutters out of Ryder's hand and back through the portal.
I think Ryder would look over at Light, look over at Brian, look at the portal, and then I think without a word, he would just walk through.
Well, now I gotta bend down and pick up my cape again.
There has to be a panel of that, of just that shot.
I look around the room and I'm like, okay, I guess we're following the bug through the portal. Cool. And I step into Lighthammer themed slippers, and then I do grab the gauntlets. I do not have my helmet with me, notably, but I've got the gauntlets and the hammer, and I'm still in booty shorts and a t-shirt, and I also step through the portal.
I think we get a shot from the other side of the portal. I'm assuming Brian steps through.
Yeah.
And we see Brian stepping.
With my mask on.
We see Brian stepping with his mask on. Did you get your cape on? Or is that still dragging behind?
Yeah, it's not on entirely, or it's on crooked.
And then we get a shot of the three of you standing against this portal, and then a pulled back shot, and we see that you're in this massive dark forest. The artist has definitely taken some surrealistic like liberties with this. The trees are like stark black silhouettes, very jagged around you, and standing in front of you, you see Poison Oak. And we see the dung beetle flutter and land on his shoulder. What do you do?
We have fought against Poison Oak before, right?
I know that you and Al fighting Poison Oak was your first, like, how our team came together. I don't know if Lighthammer or Ryder have, but you both definitely know who Poison Oak is. He's fairly well known.
I think Ryder might have in like a side panel sort of situation where it's just he's gotten out of prison. Go put him back.
Lighthammer never has, but Lighthammer knows who Poison Oak is.
Well, I'm adopting a fighting stance.
I hold out a gauntlet and I'm like, that beetle doesn't belong to you.
I said Ryder would adopt a fighting stance as well, as Lighthammer says that.
You're right. It belongs to Mother. You were all supposed to take care of it, but you didn't.
Ryder doesn't have any words.
We see my jaw just tighten, and like my other hand that's not currently extended on as a like threat clenches on the hammer really, really tightly.
Carl took care of it the best he could. Who are you to tell us that we haven't done anything?
I'm the one who had to clean up your mess, and I've been trying to make it work. You don't understand how important they were. They're the bridge. And when he says that, like, he gets this very far away look in his eyes.
You're gonna have to stop using pronouns and use words. What's it?
Whose mother?
And what the fuck is a bridge?
there needs to be an editor's note that it puts the definition of bridge underneath the panel as an aside to lighten the tension a little bit.
He turns his back and starts walking into, in the distance, we can see this like very dense cluster of trees, and starts walking towards it. And he kind of waves a bit towards you. He goes, I didn't want to get you all involved, but I can't do this. Come. And we can see the beetle fluttering off ahead towards that grove of trees.
You know, I'm pretty sure every supervillain says that, but you've got my attention. So Ryder's actually going to put the sword on his back, because he's been holding it in his hand the entire time. He's going to put it on his back and look at Brian and Light and say, you coming with? I want to see where this goes.
I'm looking at them, trying to gauge what Lighthammer thinks.
We all know this is a trap, right? Everyone is aware that we're walking into a trap.
Oh, indubitably.
And we also all are aware that if it has anything to do with Carl, we would walk into a barrage of gunfire, correct?
Every night.
Then let's follow the supervillain.
And I think we get some panels as you're all walking behind. How close to him do you get? He walks at a very steady pace, kind of ignoring you all.
I'm matching Ryder's pace.
And I'm just following behind it.
How about this? If we had a long panel that was across the full page and he was at the far right of it, where are you all positioned?
Middle of the page.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle of the page, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So we get some panels of all of you walking, and he starts talking. He doesn't, as he walks, he doesn't look back at you at all. And he's kind of talking in a volume that is a bit low to hear as you're walking. He says, you needn't worry. It's not about the one you call Carl directly. He's gone. He wasn't the important part. It was what was in him.
I think the tension breaker here would be Ryder going, bugs? Or are you talking about the Phoenix?
The Phoenix was an invasion, and the bugs were just a host. It's his energy. He could have been the bridge, but you all failed to protect him.
I'm gonna need you to stop with that bullshit right now. We didn't fail to protect anyone. He made a choice, and he went down being a hero, which is all he wanted to be. So do me a favor and shut the fuck up.
He turns to look directly at Lighthammer. This is the first time he's turned since he started walking. He goes, why do you fight so much? Your hands are the only ones bloodless here.
That's exactly why I fight. Because I wasn't there. Because I was off God knows where doing God knows what. And I couldn't save him. And you know what? These two did everything they could. If it's anyone's fault, it's Alana's. And we all know that. And I'm sure that your mother knows that too.
Brian's looking down at his fingers.
She does. And I think this is the point at which you all reach the grove of trees. And we can see there's a entrance. The trees are grown so close together. The trunks are grown so close together, they're touching. But there's a gnarled tunnel entrance. And he turns to look at all of you and goes, she does know what Alana did. And keep her away this time. And he enters into the trees.
I think Ryder's going to kind of stand while Brian and Light, pass him. And he's just standing there looking. And I guess he's going to look down at his buckler and say, I almost gave up my entire everything. How dare you? And then he's going to walk into the grove.
Is everyone else going in?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gil, do you want to give me a description of what it looks like in here?
So there's a forest glade. In the middle is a pond, and there's a giant sycamore tree behind it. I think at the edges there's some woodland creatures. That's about it.
Cool. And I think we get the panel of the group breaking through the into this, and Poison Oak is standing off to the side. And go ahead and tell us what your new character looks like.
So my new character is a 14-year-old boy. Hair is very unkempt. He's wearing nothing but a loincloth. And he's off to the side, poking with a stick at an anthill. And he turns to the team and looks at them, and then stares intently at Lighthammer, looks at Poison Oak and goes, "These is them? I mean, they don't look like heroes.
I straighten out my mask.
And then the rest of the team sees something that I don't think anyone else in Moon Harbor has ever seen, where Poison Oak looks over, smiles very, very, very warmly, and lets out a genuine chuckle. Then he turns back to the rest of the group, and he says, I wouldn't ask for help if I could do this without you, but he needs to see your world if he can be the bridge.
I got nothing for Ryder right now.
But what the fuck is a bridge?
I think after a really long moment, Lighthammer's gonna walk up to this boy and be like, Carl?
The kid keeps poking the anthill.
Okay, so if you're not Carl, what is your name?
My name's Enki.
Hi, Enki. I'm Lighthammer. And I want to hold out the gauntleted glove. And when it connects with him, I want to like scan his essentially like the sound waves coming off of him to see if they matched what Carl used to give off. To see if like he has the same energy that Carl did.
What kind of name is Lighthammer?
The readings are very, very similar.
It's a superhero name because that's what we are. We are heroes.
Yeah.
This is Ryder Typhon, and this is Asimov. And I turn to look at Poison Oak, and I'm like, I'm going to need you to start talking, but I know that Carl's in there. So we'll make sure that this kid is safe.
He looks at you, and you see a bit of genuine sadness. He goes, it's the same energy, but Carl's gone.
That's not true. I can feel that it's him. It's Carl. Carl's in there somewhere.
I think Enki looks at Poison Oak and goes, what are they talking about? You keep calling him Uncle Carl.
And he looks down at you and goes, don't worry. They'll accept it in time.
And Enki just shrugs.
I'm going to storm up to Poison Oak and shove him backwards. And I'm like, what did you do? Where is Carl? His energy is... Where is Carl?
And Poison Oak pulls himself to his full height. He definitely stands in an imposing way, but still not aggressive. And says, Alana failed Carl, so Mother is giving the energy another try.
I think I sink down to my knees, and I'm just like sitting there in the mud, in these super short shorts with like mud all over my legs now. And I'm like, but I felt, and I thought, and then I think I just like put my face in my hands.
I think at this point, Ryder's finally going to move and walk up to Enki and looks down at Enki and says, so you want to be a hero? Be a bridge?
I don't know.
Well, Ryder is Inky like sitting on the ground or standing or what?
Yeah, he's mostly in like an animalistic squatting pose. His movements are fairly animalistic.
Ryder like gets down on a knee and looks at Inky like to get down to Inky's level and says, what do you want? What do you want to be?
I think I want to be Enki.
I think Ryder would then extend his hand out and like in a handshake pose and say, well, Inky, would you like to be Inky with us?
And he sighs deeply and he goes, yeah, I think that's, yeah, probably. And looks over at Poison Oak and goes, this is what you want, right?
And Poison Oak like solemnly nods. It's what must happen.
And Ryder's going to look at Poison Oak and says, this may be what you want, but what does Inky want? What does Inky really want? Are you really wanting to be this bridge? Whatever it is?
I'm here, you know.
That means nothing. We're all here. And Ryder's going to stand up and go over there and help, try to help Light to their feet, to his feet, and say, we're all here. We're all heroes. Carl wanted more. He wanted to be a hero, but he also wanted more. Do you want the same? To be a hero? To learn? To be more than just Inky?
Nah, I'm good with Enki, but I'll do whatever Poison Oak says.
I want to toss a rock right by Enki's head to see if they respond. I'm trying to figure out if they have like super fast reflexes or something.
Okay, so the rock flies at Enki, and from the ground sprouts a vine, and it just swats the rock out of the air.
Interesting. I wanna hold out a hand, friendly, firm hand to shake.
You hear a slight rustle behind you, and a rock hits you on the back of the head.
I'm gonna slowly draw that arm back and rub the back of my head.
Hey, no fair. I showed you mine. You should show me yours.
Well then, let's see. I want to stomp on the ground and have a platform suddenly pop up underneath him. Art thou impressed?
I think Enki looks around the group and looks at Brian and goes, "Hey, I think I like this one. What's your name?"
You can call me Asimov. And I turn around showing the Asimov logo on my cape.
Yeah, you're cool. I like you.
No, there'd be a shot of Ryder kind of holding Lighthammer up and staring at the interaction between Asimov and Enki. It has to be an overhead shot or it's wrong.
Lighthammer wipes his eyes and like sniffles and then says, "Well, if he's gonna join our team, we gotta get him some real clothes."
And then we turn the page, and after the letters to the editors and the credits, we have a bonus scene here, introducing Enki. So we open on a panel of a Saber interrogation room. We can see the Saber logo in the back of the room, and a metal table, and a single chair. And sitting at that chair is our newest character, Enki. Enki, go ahead and describe what you look like.
Enki is a teenage boy. He's not wearing anything but like a loincloth. I think he's sitting in the corner of the room and he's squatting. His hair is unkempt. There's dirt on his knees and on his elbows.
Do you want to go ahead and run us down anything in the look category that you haven't covered yet?
So I think I covered everything, right? So maybe so Enki is white, but with a bit of a tan to his skin.
Okay. We see the door open, and in walks the intern. She's holding just a big old bundle of folders. We get a panel of her sitting down at the table, looking over at Enki, sighing, and then spreading out folders. She opens one up, picks up a pen, goes, Can you take a seat?
Why?
I just need to interview you, fill out this form, then you can go."
But I don't wanna.
She sighs, looks down and goes, "They're not going to let you leave until I get this information. Can we just make this easy? I want to go home."
Okay, fine. And then we see Enki crawl up to the chair, and instead of sitting on the chair, he sort of just squats down on the chair and just looks at the intern with a mean face.
She goes, "Name?"
Enki.
Is that your hero name or your real name?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's like marking things on a form. "What are your powers?"
What do you mean?
She sighs and goes like what can you do? Like throw fireballs? Are you like electric powered? What?
Okay, so I can sorta make plants come from stuff, I guess. And I've been told I'm super fast. I have no reference for that.
She looks down at the form and goes, it says here you're a doomed, and you have a nemesis. And who's that? Enki does not actually have to know this in the actual game, but we do need to tell our audience this information.
So Enki explains to the intern, so there's a lot of bad people, and the bad people might try to use me to get access to Gaia, the world power. And then as we get this text on the panels, you can see these silhouetted figures around the big table, and there's a narrator box below it that says the Cabal of Unquestioned, which is an uneasy truce between a group of demons that want power and seek to gain it.
Excellent. She looks down at the forms, checks a couple boxes, and goes, "Okay, sounds like a C-67 situation. And what brings your doom closer?" And she looks up at Enki.
And I think we see a panel of Poison Oak in the forest talking to Enki and explaining that Enki shouldn't overexert himself or ever try to face the danger alone. That's very important. But then we have Enki looking at the intern and going, I don't think that's any of your business.
She sighs and checks some random boxes and moves on to the next one. And major powers, doom signs? What you got going on there?
So Enki goes, I have this mysterious power. I have these infinite powers I can tap into. It's really interesting. Want me to show you?
She nods and goes, do it quickly.
I think Enki goes, now I don't wanna.
He's such a goddamn brat.
Yeah.
And it says here you have a sanctuary. Tell me a bit about that.
I wouldn't really call it a sanctuary because it's the place where we live. But there's this glade in the forest. We call it a place of power. It has a really beautiful sycamore tree. And that's where Poison Oak, my mentor, lives. And we have a healing pool and we have a meditation space. But I don't think I was supposed to tell you that because we don't want to draw attention to it. Because it's kind of connected to my doom.
Don't worry. Everything here is very secure. So, about your doom. When did you first learn about it?
I mean, like Poison Oak told me about it last week.
So pretty recently.
I don't think I existed until last week, but yeah.
And okay, yeah, last thing it says here you're joining Ryder Typhon, Lighthammer, and Asimov. Why does that team matter to you?
So it mainly matters to me because Poison Oak told me it matters to me, but I think they're gonna help me figure things out.
She looks down and goes, okay, just a couple more questions and we can both go home. Have you told anyone on your team about your doom already?
I talked about it a bit with Felix. I told him what my doom is and how much danger I'm in.
Okay, and last question. Do you have someone special? I'm sorry we have to ask, but you wouldn't believe how often it causes issue.
I mean, I don't, but like this Felix guy on our team, like he's kind of hot. And then I think as Enki says this on panel, we see this scene from behind the window, the mirrored window, where we see Lighthammer standing. And I think Enki is fully aware that Lighthammer is standing there.
Is Ryder also there?
Can it be the whole team? Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with either.
Because this doesn't have to be in canon.
I kind of think we see like one of the other two teammates, or maybe both of them, like holding Lighthammer back as I'm about to like launch through the door to punch this child in the face.
Phenomenal. She looks up at Inky and goes, okay, anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yeah, your room sucks.
I think we get a panel of her sighing, the door opening, Inky leaving, and then as she walks out, we see the file in her hand, and it's a doomed playbook filled out. And I'm excited to see Inky in game.
Yay!
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, T.B. Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at icynewyear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at thuthplaywright on Twitter or tphuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Elen, ELLIOTYLEN on Twitter. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Ryder Typhon is played by Kaido Kane. Kaido is a Twitch personality and loves their 3 mischievous cats. You can find them at The Versian on Twitter or as Kaido Kane on twitch.tv. Asimov is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at It's EXPHP on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Enki is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. Lighthammer is played by T. Huth. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.